Imagine creating something revolutionary, something that changes how people connect. Now imagine selling it just over a year later. This is the story of YouTube. Its founders, Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim, did exactly that. They built a platform that took the world by storm. Then, in a move that surprised many, they sold it. The price tag was a staggering $1.65 billion. This was a huge sum for such a young company in 2006. Many wondered if they sold too soon. Others saw it as a genius move. The sale of YouTube to Google was a landmark event. It happened so quickly. The platform was barely 18 months old. Yet, it had already captured millions of users. People were uploading and watching videos at an amazing rate. The founders were young, they were former PayPal employees, they had a great idea. But running a global service was a massive challenge. The speed of its growth was both a blessing and a burden. The sale offered them resources they desperately needed. Google, already a giant in the internet world, seemed like a perfect fit. It had the money, it had the infrastructure. The news of the acquisition sent ripples through the tech industry. It set the stage for YouTube's next act. Every great invention often starts with a simple problem. For YouTube, one such problem was sharing videos. It sounds easy now in 2025. But back in early 2005 it was quite difficult. Email attachments had size limits. Hosting videos yourself was complicated. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim experienced this frustration. They wanted an easier way for people to share their personal video clips. This was the core idea. It was a simple need, but a powerful one. One often cited story points to a specific event. It was early 2004. Janet Jackson had a wardrobe malfunction during the Super Bowl halftime show. Many people missed it live. They wanted to see the clip. Jawed Karim reportedly had trouble finding it online. This highlighted a gap. There was no central, easy place to find and watch such moments. While this event might not be the sole origin, it illustrated the demand. People wanted to see and share timely video clips. The existing internet wasn't quite ready for that. This practical problem-solving approach is common in startups. The founders weren't trying to build a media empire initially. They were trying to solve their own problem. With the idea taking shape, the hard work began. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim were not new to the tech world. They had worked together at PayPal. They understood online payments and web services. This experience was valuable. Hurley had a design background from Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Chen and Karim were skilled engineers from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. They formed a strong team. Each brought different skills to the table. This combination was crucial for getting YouTube off the ground. The first office for YouTube was not glamorous. It was above a pizzeria and a Japanese restaurant in San Mateo, California. Some work was even done out of Chad Hurley's garage. This is a classic Silicon Valley startup story. Limited funds meant they had to be resourceful. They worked long hours. They focused on building a simple, usable product. The initial version of YouTube was basic, but it worked. Users could upload videos. They could share links. And importantly, videos played relatively smoothly. This was a big deal at the time. The technology they used was Flash Video, FLV. This allowed videos to be embedded easily on web pages. YouTube officially launched to the public in December 2005. Its growth in the first year was astonishing. It spread like wildfire. But here's a surprising thing. There were no big advertising campaigns. There was very little mainstream news coverage initially. Its growth was organic. It was driven by word of mouth. People found it useful. They found it fun. So, they told their friends, and their friends told others. This viral spread was powerful. It showed that YouTube filled a real need. The platform's simplicity was key to this rapid adoption. Uploading a video was straightforward. Sharing it was just a matter of copying a link. Embedding videos on other websites like MySpace was also easy. This embedding feature was a masterstroke. It meant YouTube videos started appearing all over the internet. Each embedded video acted like an advertisement for YouTube itself. People would see a video they liked on a blog or social media. They would click through to YouTube to see more. This created a powerful growth loop. With great popularity came great challenges. YouTube's rapid ascent was thrilling, but it also brought significant problems. One of the biggest was the cost of infrastructure. Storing an ever-increasing number of videos required massive amounts of server space. Delivering these videos to millions of users worldwide consumed huge amounts of bandwidth. These things were incredibly expensive. The founders had secured some early investment, but the costs were growing much faster than their funding. They were burning through cash at an alarming rate. Another major headache was copyright infringement. Users were uploading all sorts of content. This included copyrighted material, like music videos and clips from TV shows. Media companies were not happy about this. They saw YouTube as a platform enabling piracy. Cease and desist letters started arriving. The threat of lawsuits loomed large. The founders knew this was a serious issue. They wanted to work with content creators, not against them. But policing a platform with so much user-generated content was a monumental task. It was a legal minefield. The question of monetization also became urgent. How could YouTube make money to cover its costs, and eventually to make a profit? Initially, the site had no advertisements. In October 2006, a solution appeared. Google, the search engine giant, announced it was acquiring YouTube. The price was $1.65 billion in Google stock. This was a huge valuation for a company less than 2 years old. For YouTube, it was a lifeline. Google had the resources YouTube desperately needed. It had vast server farms. It had deep pockets to cover operational costs. It also had significant legal expertise to navigate the complex copyright landscape. The acquisition seemed like a perfect match. Google saw immense potential in YouTube. Online video was clearly the next big thing. YouTube was already the dominant player in this space. By acquiring YouTube, Google instantly became a leader in online video. It was a bold move. Some analysts questioned the high price. They pointed to YouTube's lack of revenue and its legal issues. But Google was betting on the future. They believed they could solve the monetization puzzle. They believed they could work with content owners. It was a gamble, but one with a potentially massive payoff. The acquisition fundamentally altered YouTube's trajectory. With Google's backing, YouTube could finally scale its infrastructure properly. After the Google acquisition, the original founders didn't just walk away. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim stayed on for a period. This was important for continuity. They understood YouTube's DNA. They knew its community. Their presence helped to ensure a smooth transition. Google was a much larger, more corporate environment. The founders helped bridge the gap between YouTube's startup culture and Google's established processes. This was crucial for maintaining the platform's unique spirit during the early days of integration. Chad Hurley remained as CEO of YouTube for a few years after the acquisition. Steve Chen stayed on as Chief Technology Officer. Jawed Karim had already taken a less active role to pursue further studies, but he remained an advisor. Their continued involvement reassured users and employees. It signaled that Google wasn't going to completely overhaul YouTube overnight. Instead, the plan was to support its growth, to provide resources, and to help it tackle its challenges. The founders' guidance was valuable during this critical phase. Managing the transition was a complex task. YouTube had its own way of doing things. Today in 2025, YouTube is an undeniable global giant. It's more than just a video sharing site, it's a cultural force. It's a news source, it's an entertainment platform. It's an educational tool. Its journey from a simple idea to its current scale is remarkable. But the story is far from over. The internet landscape is constantly changing. YouTube faces ongoing challenges. It must continue to innovate to maintain its dominance. Complacency is not an option in the fast-paced world of technology. One of the biggest ongoing challenges is content moderation. With billions of videos, ensuring safety and appropriateness is a massive task. YouTube invests heavily in AI and human reviewers. But harmful content, misinformation, and copyright infringement remain persistent problems. Balancing freedom of expression with responsibility is a delicate act. The platform is always under scrutiny. It must constantly refine its policies and enforcement. This is a complex, never-ending battle. The trust of its users and advertisers depends on it. Competition is another factor. While YouTube is the market leader, new platforms emerge. TikTok, for example, captured the short-form video market with incredible speed.